The third issue I chose to bring today is follow-up. That is my favorite topic in the world. I don't know if you know anything about what I do, but I own a BD agency. So a lot of what we do in the agency is help people with follow-up, because most companies don't follow up, and a lot of people take it very personally when people don't come back to them. They almost feel like they don't like them, or they take it very personally, or they think, well, if they haven't come back to us, they're not interested. And it couldn't be further from the truth, because as we said already and we established already, people are very busy. Most people these days do what used to be three people's jobs in the past. So we really do put pressure on people in organizations, and they just don't necessarily have the time to talk to you. You're not their priority necessarily, even if you're solving a problem for them. That isn't the only thing they're dealing with, and that's something that people need to be mindful of. And the fact they haven't come back to you doesn't mean they don't want to talk to you. In fact, before I launched my business 9 years ago, I actually did a survey with buyers who said that they were more interested in salespeople who followed up with them, because they reminded them and put them back on the agenda, because they deal with a number of things. They really were pleased when people were following up, because it helped them to sort of reminded them to get back to them. So that's a thumbs up from the people you are following up with. So in terms of tips, I think that we already talked about the 4 things you have to know about an opportunity, and one of it was the timeline and who else is involved. You at this stage, when you're following up, you should be in a place where you understand they got a problem. B, it's big enough for them to be launching a buying process, and they are looking for a solution and have a budget. And C, you understand what they're looking to do, in what time scale, and who else is involved. You don't have to know absolutely 100% of everything, because you never do, but you hope that you would know, the key elements of these pieces of the puzzle. So essentially, you are able to break down the journey. So you've sent a proposal, and personally, I wouldn't recommend that you send any proposals to anyone until you've understood all of these things. You could send them materials by any means after you spoke to them and had an initial conversation. You can send them general brand materials about the product, case studies, etc. Yes, absolutely. But I wouldn't go and do a proposal and put all the work that's involved in that unless you understand all of these components of the situation. So that's the first thing to sort of be clear on. And then sort of break it down. You've sent a proposal. The first thing you do within 48 hours is just following up, making sure they've had your proposal, it's all clear, and there isn't any initial questions at this stage. Then you can sort of say, okay, great, I'm really pleased. How long do you need to look at this? When shall I get in touch? You could even be bold and see if they book a meeting with you to discuss this once they're ready. If they say no, that's fine, but you can sort of build a timeline into it. Then you've got your sort of next one where you're calling and you want to see whether they've had a look at the proposal, where they are with it, who else is involved at that stage, and what's the next stage from their perspective in terms of the buying process. And then agree again, when should you speak again. When it comes to about 4 or 5 times that you've spoken to people, so a couple of months as part, depending on the product you sell. I mean, obviously, if you sell a product that's more transactional, you wouldn't necessarily have such a long process. But the idea is the same, is to just have some sort of maybe an automated way to follow up with people. If you're B2C, or if you're selling more transactional, smaller products, is there a number of emails that can be sent? It's really thinking about that process rather than just leaving it completely with them. But if you are selling high ticket items, this is a must. And so once you've been following up 3, 4, 5 times, it come to a couple of months and nothing's quite moving, you could turn around and sort of say to them, look, it's been great talking to you, but it doesn't seem to sort of be going anywhere, and I'm not quite sure where you are with things, and are we still talking? Is this still relevant? And then people often come back to you and will say, oh yeah, we still are, sorry, we've had this, we've had that. But really, it's an opportunity to, rather than looking at it as being annoying, because that is one thing that people always tell me, is they don't like following up because they think they're going to be annoying upset people, and by being so persistent, etc. So it's more about sort of building a relationship. You're not being annoying. You're doing this based on agreed time scales. You're not calling them every day. There is absolutely no point of being showing any signs of frustration, because that doesn't help you. It's always, polite, good conversations, but asking those questions, making sure you keep asking those questions, as in, where is the project? Who else is involved? Where are the issues? Are there issues? Is there anything else that we can do to help the process go through? Is there other information you need from us, just to keep it going and build a relationship? And you can joke with people and say, it's me again, it's that time of month, I'm calling you again. And just make it into a joke. Don't take it so seriously, and really try to sort of build that relationship with people, because people do react to that, even if they don't necessarily show it straight away. They do react to that kind of persistence, professionalism, the fact that you really care about it, that you're being diligent with them. I think all of that really helps. To help you, if you have a specific goal every time you contact the prospect, that would really help you. So this call this week is about finding out who else is involved, or when is there, what's the next step. So just kind of break it down for yourself. Don't make it that big thing that's really scary. And like I already said, use different platforms. So, some people react to text, other people react to WhatsApp, some people react to LinkedIn, some people react to emails, some people react to phone. If you try a combination of things, not all at the same week, so break it down, I think you would get through to people more, because I don't know how many people just see follow up as just sending emails. And that is not always, because if people have got the reason they're already not coming back to you is because they've got 1,000 emails in their inbox. Another email from you is not going to be helpful. So it's about thinking about breaking that and trying to go in, get in. So I have a motto: if you can't get in through the door, get in through the window. Just find another entry into that company. And do give it realistic time. I was talking to a client a couple of months ago, where he said that, he would send a proposal, and within 2 weeks, if they haven't replied, he'd send an email going, I can see you don't want to work with me, so I've taken you off my pipeline. I mean, how awful is that? It's, this was high ticket item. You wouldn't expect that kind of project to go through 2 weeks, even if it was going to time. So doing that sort of thing, I understand that it can shock people into action, but it could also, people could look at that and go, okay, fine, and so it is about striking the right balance, I think, when you're following up and making it work for you, and more importantly, the person you're trying to make into a client.